place saying how he wanted us to do a mural on it. And there was a scaffolding from the stucco, like kind of what Robert was talking about, and he was taking it down in 7 days. So we were limited by time to get as much as we could done in a really short amount of time. So it would have been nice to have worked on it more, but you know, that's the main thing.
So it's like, here, you're limited to do something.
Yeah, just go get your paint, and then so we ended up hooking up. Like, what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do?
We just made it up on the spot.
Kind of just did some sketches, but I think it worked good with both of us. And then what Stan was talking about, using the architecture of the place and trying to use both and have some cohesion, you know, between both parts of the mural. Well, yeah, my father was a minister growing up, and I'm not a big fan of that religion, so to speak, but I've always felt a certain, a love for people, and I feel like art's the best way to convey that message to, like, kind of, I don't know, give them a little sense of peace, you know. And so shaking the yoga pose, I was kind of getting into yoga at that time, and there was just something about your chest area, or projecting out and really trying to. But yeah, that's a yoga stance right there, is what that is. I guess it can kind of conceived as prayer, but I think prayer takes on many different meanings. You know, really. I don't know. The way I kind of looked at it when we started doing it was just like female, and then kind of having like reserved and the uninhibited, but you know, both being valid as women, and you know, that's the way I kind of took it. He was going nuts. Like, he was up there dancing around, and he was like all this construction material. He would just find anything and make stencils out of it. I mean, all this stuff up in their hair was just all this random stuff. Like, use this, you know. It's just like
crates and.
Yeah, I like keeping it simple. It's kind of a choice, I guess. Well, that was their coloring. Yeah, that was the stucco. We didn't have any control over the background, so you kind of had to compliment it as best you could.
Yeah, we did look at the building first, but I tend to go crazy, and he's a little bit more reserved, you know. And I think this was our first piece that we did together.
Yeah.
We're just, I mean, I know your work, but we're filling each other out too on, you know, we're not trying to dictate on what either person should do. So he kind of kept it simple, and I went crazy.
Talk about it a little bit.
Well, when Reza left, he took off, and he said, "Surprise me." And I've always wanted to do a piece in town with exposed breasts, nudity. And you know, not for vulgar purposes or anything like that, but to express the beauty of it. We did have some problems with that. Or I wanted to have bees coming out, and we started moving a theme, you know, around here from the bees, because a lot of times we'd work on walls and there'd always be dead bees on the bottom of the painting. So bees were just coming up and just smacking into the walls and just dying, and maybe they saw it as they were attracted to the color. So I just kind of took that image and started doing it, and I wanted the bees coming from her breast and you know, spreading them out throughout downtown. But it could be a lot more, but I wanted it to this be the place where it started, and that's where the bees were collecting and going around to all the different studios and art places around here, just having bees being around. Yeah, it could be. I mean, it could be like she's in a like ecstasy. I mean, it could be. Who's it? Sculptor? Bernini, exactly. I think Bernini sculptures were always the females were always in that state of ecstasy, but it looked like physical pain, but it was also spiritual elation. So I wanted to go through that same thing, because she's in the throes of it. And when we're going, we're just kind of making things up, and it was perfect, like bridging the chest piece to her chest piece, like the chakra area, and just kind of, she could be sending energy, they could be receiving energy from something else, or transferring it to each other, like some reciprocation. And then that's why I just, there was the bridge coming out, or the track going around her. She's got the home on the shoulder. There was a lot of things. The electrical poles for her head were all drawn from here, and basically connecting the building to the outside that's happening around here. Bridging.